The Football Manager 2024 AI scores a lot of late goals, and if you're not paying attention to the game, you'll probably be a victim of it. FM24 early access has been around for a while now, and if you're already playing the game or you're watching this video while the Football Manager 2024 has already been released, you notice that you likely concede a lot of late goals. This happened to me a lot with Norwich, and I've been able to walk around and try to figure out how you can deal with it, and in this video I'm going to tell you how you can go about combating those late goals and try to prevent them as much as possible. It may be down to the fact that your players are getting tired towards the ending period of the game, but it has a lot more to do with how intelligent the AI managers are in this year's game. FM 2024 managers do make tactical changes in the game to try and enhance their ability to win the game. So towards the ending part of the game, if you notice that they are losing, they will tend to make more attacking substitutions or attacking tactical changes that's going to help them drive their team forward. And if your players are getting tired or your players are not fit enough to play the whole 90 minutes, the AI is going to take advantage of this and switch to a higher mentality that is slightly more attacking, and they're going to take advantage of your tired players. They could also take advantage of your tactical setup, so in case you're playing against a team that is much better than you and then you're using a positive mentality, even though you're leading by 3 goals to 0 or 4 goals to 0, it's vital that you go and switch your tactics and try to play with a slightly more cautious or lower mentality. And then while you're changing your mentality to a lower mentality, remember that you still have to change your player roles. You cannot have players that are playing on the flanks, playing all on attack duties, or you have so many players on attack duties and then you're playing a lower mentality. It's not really going to help you in that sense. What I've noticed is that I tend to still concede goals when I was playing in that manner. So what I had to do was to change to a lower mentality and then switch to players that were playing on attack duty to support duty, to try and help them or encourage them to be a bit more defensively minded and contribute to the team's defensive effort to try and protect the lead. So gone are the days where you're going to set up your team and then send them into a game and abandon them and go do something else. You have to actually stay there the entire 90 minutes to try and make sure that your team isn't playing off or the AI isn't making tactical changes that you're not aware of. You have to pay attention to the entire game and make sure you got everything all nailed down. You can also adjust training to favor you. Sometimes you look at the default training in Football Manager 2024, they're quite heavy. So depending on your style of play you're playing, if you're already using a high intensity style of play, it may not be helpful for you to have so many aggressive training schedules as well. So you need to go in there and then try to adjust your training to try and match the intensity that they're using. And if your players are getting too tired or getting too bogged down with injuries, try to reduce the training intensity and encourage your players to stay fit. It also helps them have a lot of energy to run through the entire 90 minutes. And then some players that may not be able to make it to 90 minutes, you can always have a replacement for them from the bench and try to bring them on in the second half and try to offer some reinforcement for your team to try and help you protect the lead. If you're not sure about how training works, I'm going to attach a link in the description to this video so you can watch that immediately next to see how you can go about adjusting your training schedule to try and match your team and reduce the loads and also help your team understand your tactics and stay fit throughout the entire 90 minutes. One more thing I would like to mention is regarding tactics. You would want to have an alternative system to your original tactical plan that you have playing with your team. Now currently with Norwich I have a 4-3-3 system, but I do have an alternative 4-4-2, and it took me a while to actually come up with this 4-4-2 system. I was struggling with the 4-3-3 and I didn't really have a backup plan to see how I could also play my players in a different position. I had Ashley Barnes and Adam Ida, and I used both players as pressing forwards on attack duty when I was playing with the 4-3-3, but then I realized that I could also use the 4-4-2 system where I had Ashley Barnes play as a target forward on support duty, and sometimes Adam Ida will play as a target forward on support duty for me. So this 4-4-2 system allowed us to have an alternative shape we can switch to in case the AI chooses to switch to their own alternative shape, because they will do that very often in Football Manager 2024. You notice the team start with a back 3 system and wing backs, and then towards the ending period of the game you see that they're playing with a 4-3-3 system. How did that happen? If you're not checking, you would know this. So it's good to always have that alternative tactical plan in case the AI chooses to switch it up for you. You can go on to have a different shape that you can switch to and try to prevent the changes that they've gone on to make in their own system. Now this alternative tactic doesn't have to be too different. It can just be a different shape, having the same player roles that your players are familiar with. You can go on to include that in the alternative tactic, and then the only difference could be that the team is playing with a different formation, and then maybe the team instructions are also slightly different. Like with the 4-4-2, I'm using a higher pressing intensity because I have 2 players up front, 2 pressing forwards, or 1 pressing forward and a target forward on support. So I can afford to allow my players press high up the pitch. But with the 4-3-3 system, it's slightly more conservative. That's in attack. So I have only 1 striker, so I cannot allow my 1 striker to just be the one pressing the entire opposition's back line. So with that system, I do have a low block or a mid block, and I'm not allowing my players press too much when they're playing in the 4-3-3 system. Both systems tend to work for me. My players are kind of used to that, so it kind of works for us. And you can apply this as well to your team and see how it works out for you. I'll be back with more Football Manager videos like this. If you did enjoy this one, do let me know in the comment section. If you have more questions about Football Manager 2024, leave it in the comments. I'll catch up with you and I'll see you in the next video.